and welcome everybody to the 12 o'clock show with Mayor Joe on our last National Women's History Month 12 o'clock show for the year. But we have a wonderful guest from, as you could guess, the Red Cross, Norma Wasserstrom. Thank you very much for coming today. I appreciate it.
You are welcome. Thank you for the invitation. We're very excited to be here.
And I had to make it very clear, I gave blood last week. I actually did at the blood drive, so I'm already scheduled for the next one, which we'll get into. It's such a huge thing. So I remember the first time that I gave blood, which was many, many moons ago. I ended up having surgery when I was 12 years old. I had back surgery.
Okay.
And so they were doing the pre-blood thing. So I had to give blood ahead of time. So they wanted to make sure in case that I needed a transfusion or something. Yeah. So I had it. So that was where, and like I said, I was 12 years old when that happened. So I've been used to it. I try as best as I can to donate as often as I can. I am probably the only member of my immediate family that can do so. The more we talk about it, and I'm sure my wife is at home watching, she may or may not pass out if we go too into details about it. But it's something that's good. I was talking with you earlier, I ended up getting my 4-gallon pen, and I had to remind my youngest that no, that's not all at once. But it is such a huge thing. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the Red Cross and your role now that you're kind of overseeing the Reynoldsburg area?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a dedicated donor. That's how we met, because you were donating at the blood drive. And I was like, oh my gosh, the mayor of Reynoldsburg is donating blood. I was really excited. So thank you for that. Yeah, I have been with the American Red Cross. We're the ARC Central and Southern Blood Services region. We've had a name change in the past couple of years. So I've been with the American Red Cross for 25 years. I've had downtown Columbus for 15. And then in January, we had a national reorganization, and Reynoldsburg is part of my territory, along with Bexley, Whitehall, and many other areas.
Well, some of the responsibilities other than blood, I know there's a lot of things that the Red Cross is involved with, but outside of just the blood donation, which we'll get back to, what are some of the other things Red Cross does?
Okay, so and actually this is the best way to say it. We're all in the same house, the humanitarian side and the blood side. We just live in different sides of the house. So the humanitarian responsibility is disaster response, services, member, veterans, and family, military services, health and safety, which is training services. So that includes CPR, first aid, babysitting, and lifeguard. Okay? So those are, and international services is their other arena that they handle.
Yeah.
So
well, it's interesting because it's never just one thing. I know, obviously we've had some tornadoes in Central Ohio and Indian Lake, with everything that they experienced. I know Red Cross was on site there. I know I talked with our police chief and our fire chief of, hey, what happens if? And so going over our plans to make sure how we coordinate. And I know even at other points in time where we've had house fires and people have lost their belongings and things like that, Red Cross is right there to help. My wife's grandmother was very big into the Red Cross, so she has an entire set of pins for how many years she worked with the Red Cross.
Wow.
And my mother-in-law actually still does some things with them as well. So there's more than just the blood aspect of it.
Yes.
However, that is a big thing, and there's one of those things I kind of joke every time that I get an email, phone call, text, or all three within 10 minutes about donating blood. There's always a blood supply shortage. There's never a point where I don't think anybody says, "Oh, we're good. We don't need any donations." So for that, how does the Red Cross? How are you able to kind of convince people to get to donate, and why it's important for people to donate blood?
Well, actually, right now we are at a good level with our inventory. I know, but that's a very nice feeling. One of the things that this job has really taught me is that tragedy strikes any of us at any time, disasters or blood. I mean, we could need blood at any time, and so that has put things in perspective for me, and that's what I try to convey to my sponsors and my blood donors and my blood program leaders too, because we're in 47 counties in our region, and we supply blood and blood products to 39 hospitals.
That's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're an exporting region as well. So what that means, if we need to ship to other American Red Crosses in the country, we do so.
You stole that from me, because one of the things that's interesting, when you get the Red Cross app on the App Store at iTunes, when you go through it, it actually, in the last year or so, I've noticed it will actually kind of track, and you can actually see where your donation goes, and it's nice because it's obviously you donate it and then you move on and then it kind of goes away, but it's actually nice to see that that it's going through, and then there's always that message of, hey, your donation went to this hospital for an emergency procedure of some sort. It doesn't give like explicit details, but it says enough that what you did was actually used to benefit somebody else, and that was a really cool thing to deal with.
Well, one of the things that's really important that I have noted here is donations are needed daily from volunteers and donors. So we have to depend on volunteers and donors to come out every day to keep the supply where we need it to be.
Well, especially, and I know right around the time of COVID happening, obviously that changed everything in terms of what the donation schedule was. And I remember talking when they first started coming back in, that was it was a very difficult transition to get people back into the donating routine.
Yeah.
Which, if you said that right now, it looks like you're kind of stabilized in that hopefully that's happened. But other than doing, knowing that you're doing a good thing by donating blood, what are some of the other incentives that the Red Cross has used in the past to kind of get people excited or willing to donate blood?
Well, and since I've been here for 25 years, from a national level, I've really seen a big increase in incentives. But we want to go back to basics, where some people don't want an incentive to give blood. They're doing it to pay it forward and to save lives. So, but right now, from March 25th to April 7th, every blood drive, every donor is going to receive a Godzilla Kong, the New Empire t-shirt.
I just missed it.
Yeah, you just missed it. Yes, you did.
Everybody knows my love of t-shirts.
So typically during the holiday times is really when we see more of these kind of incentives, like t-shirts. So at Memorial Day and 4th of July, Thanksgiving and Christmas, we always have a long sleeve t-shirt.
Okay.
So we do try to do those at very challenging collection times.
I've seen a couple of them, when we've had, I think there was a t-shirt that I want to say that was kind of an elf-esque version of a t-shirt this past holiday season and things like that. So if somebody's out there wanting to donate blood, there's a lot of ways that they can go about doing it.
Yes.
And I know you and I just talked briefly about some of the upcoming dates. The next date, if you want to go over and let everybody know when the next date locally in Reynoldsburg is. I know that we have one at City Hall or at the police station right next door, but that's not until May.
That's May 15th.
May 15th. So I'm already booked at 10 o'clock. So just if you want to sit and see me bleed, then there you go. You can come in. I always make the same bad joke every time I go there. It's really one of those things, and I'm sure that they've all heard it before. I am a relatively efficient bleeder, so usually when I go in, it does not take me long to basically fill up the pint. So I always joke, I'm like, it's really good for donating blood, probably pretty bad for car accidents. So see, there you go. That's but that's my kind of repetitive joke, and so far I've not run into anybody that has already heard that one. But so May 15th is a good one.
And Reynoldsburg YMCA, they across the street, they have a regular cycle. Their next one is April 29th.
All right, so if you can't wait till the 15th, you've got that one.
Yes.
But there's all sorts of other ones, and so if they were looking on to find a date that meets their schedule, is it just the website? Is it the app?
Well, let me
go.
review. So the website is always an excellent resource to donate, redcrossblood.org. Okay. You can put in the zip code, and it will bring up all the drives. If you put in 43068, it'll bring up all the drives open to the public in this area. You can call 1-800-RED-CROSS, that's another way, and the blood donor app. Yep. So those are the three resources out there for you to donate blood.
No, we appreciate it. Do we have any questions from anybody out there?
Well, no.
I hope.
Sorry, that's okay.
It's okay. I may get the questions later, and that's a whole other different thing.
Yes.
No, but I think what's good about it is, we obviously, at the police department, they're very good about letting everybody here at City Hall know, so we try and get over there as much as we can. I think maybe last week, if it wasn't as much as it was getting ready for spring break here in Reynoldsburg, so Reynoldsburg City Schools is on spring break this year. So maybe that had an impact with it, but definitely we'll continue to kind of advertise and promote. So just obviously every now and then, if you want to give me an idea of what's coming up, obviously I know the one in April for the YMCA. Happy to announce it. It's a great thing. I donate because, like I said, my family can't. They would literally lose their minds doing so.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't bother me. And so I go in, I do it, and then we move on. And so I think anybody who can donate, this is a great opportunity to do so.
Right. And everyone is scared of needles. I mean, none of us like needles.
Yeah.
But it's something that you do, that you take an hour out of your life to pay it forward and to save lives, because you never know when any of us are going to need blood.
Yeah. And it may also be for the Oreo cookies at the end. But
yes, absolutely. Okay.
But those are things. I really appreciate you coming in today.
No problem. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Definitely keep everybody informed. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the city. Feel free to reach out to the Red Cross, and we'll get that. So thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much. So, and we'll look at that March date next year.
Definitely.
Look at the spring break. And
and keep an eye on that one. Definitely.
That'll be good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It.
Pleasure. Use your mug.
I definitely will.
All righty.
All right, everybody. So obviously a really cool thing. Really good. Oh yeah, we're really good out there. Lots of other things going on right now. We have Reynoldsburg City Schools is on spring break, as you've heard, so they're still going to, I don't know if Board Member Whitman is going to have his Friday office hours, but if that's the case, I'm sure he'll probably put it in the chat, or you'll see it on, but you can go to the event, or the Graham Road Welcome Center, the Friday from 4 to 5. If it's not this week, then it'll be next week. Also want to wish the best of luck to the esports team after spring break. When they get into April, they'll be headed out to states to defend their title. Also want to give a very special shout out. Last week, I had the opportunity on Thursday to go out to Summit Elementary and talk with their second graders, and then also go to the Morning Spark program, which, first of all, it's a great way to kick off a day in an elementary school. Everybody's there. They're really excited, and it was the day before spring break, so the teachers had that extra little bit of energy in them because they were ready to go on spring break. But they had the opportunity to kind of have share their desires of what they would like to see in Reynoldsburg, and so they designed things that they wanted to see. So they actually looked at our zoning plan, and they decided, okay, if this is where we can build an urban air center, this is where we can build a Kroger, this is where we need another Cane's, things like that. They actually had them, and they designed a mock-up of all of the buildings, all 3D. They built them out, and they actually showed where they would go within the city to make sure that they met the zoning code. So this was not just a basic thing. This is something that, honestly, even sometimes when we talk to developers, they didn't get as into it as some of these second graders did. So they did a phenomenal job at that school. They had all of their buildings out there, and again, the best ones, again, that everybody wanted, the same things that everybody's looking for. Bounce houses, the Canes, like I said, and they wanted another Kroger because that way they can get more candy with their grandparents. I think that was a very specific ask from Grandma and Grandpa, but it was still pretty cool. So shout out to them. I did want to talk about code enforcement. It is warmer out, so you're going to see code enforcement out significantly more as the weather warms. But you yourself can also be a code enforcer. We do have our Reynoldsburg Engage app. We'd like to think that we've worked through any kind of internal kinks on everything. So if you're interested in that, you can find it on the App Store or the iTunes Store. And it is very much your own little drop-down menu of things that you see that are in Reynoldsburg. Now, keep in mind, this is just for code enforcement. If there's a law-related issue, if you feel that, that there's something that the police should be notified, please contact the police. The app is not going to be the best way for you to look at it. The app is for if a street light is out or if there's a pothole, that type of thing. Speaking of potholes, I think I mentioned before, again, about 8,000 or 8 tons of fill have been put into the potholes around the community. So they're still working on that. So shout out to the street crew. Huge things on there. Did also want to mention that we've gotten at least one suggestion for a future town hall, but I'm always looking for more. The suggestion we got is actually for a code enforcement town hall. I'll get to the other suggestion in a minute. So we are going to try and get together a code enforcement town hall that'll be here at City Hall probably sometime in May-ish, give or take a little bit, just to talk a little bit about what the process is for code enforcement, what they're looking for, and then what happens if you get cited for something or another. So that would be one. There was another good suggestion out there about some of our trade groups out there. If there's somebody that does in landscaping or concrete or something like that, having some sort of focal point for there. So I reached out to the Reynoldsburg Chamber of Commerce, and they're looking into it as well to see what kind of membership, if their members would like to do something like that, almost like a home and garden show, but specifically to Reynoldsburg. So we're looking at that one as well for those kind of to-do items as the weather gets warmer. I've got some road updates. If you haven't been out on Wagner Road yet, you probably will want to avoid it for a while. The tree clearing portion of it is started already, so they were out there earlier today. They're going to work the next couple of days and take some of the trees that are in the right-of-way down. Again, these are the ones that are for the project itself, and they're also clearing out some invasive species that are in that right-of-way as well. So you'll see that going today, tomorrow, Friday, probably Saturday as well. To clear those things out. And then again, we're just about 2 weeks away or so from the other underground work coming. So enjoy driving on Wagner Road while you can. So we've got that coming on. Any questions about anything so far?
We did get a question come in, and it's asking, what are the laws for golf carts on Reynoldsburg streets?
They are not allowed on Reynoldsburg streets. So as of right now, I know that people have asked what the interest would be. That would be something that would have to go through City Council. And I know in the past they've kind of not wanted to go that direction just because of traffic in general. So
that's it for right now.
That's a good question. I did get one question that was sent in earlier, which I love those, by the way. So if you have these questions ahead of time, the person wrote, as I drive around 270, I notice all of the suburbs have the name of their city and wrought iron fencing above the roadway. What would it take for Reynoldsburg to have a sign? That's a really good question that has a really complex answer. One is Reynoldsburg is actually not really connected to anything on 270. There's a buffer in between Reynoldsburg and the city of Columbus, so we could not do anything on 270. We share the Bryce and 70 interchange with Pickerington as well as 256 and Pickerington. So we are not doing anything in the Bryce Road, but we do feel that when 256 and eventually the Taylor Road interchange kind of gets together, we do want to have something like that in there. So there's a cost to it that the city will have to do, and honestly, I don't know what that is other than a lot of money, but we do want to have something like that in there, again, to kind of recognize where people are coming into Reynoldsburg. Kind of going along with that, we are in the works of trying to figure out how to identify Reynoldsburg as people are coming into our community, whether they're coming in at Main Street and Bryce in that general vicinity, 70 and Bryce, or if they're coming in at 256, or if they're coming on the far side of Main Street on the eastern half of town by the Department of Agriculture. We do have some designs that are out there that we're looking at as far as signage and kind of entryway features. But the reality of the situation is if I have an opportunity to fix a cul-de-sac or a road or something like that, that tends to be where I'm focusing the money to get it back into the community as opposed to those aesthetics. But we are working on that, and probably the goal would be in the next year or two, you're going to start seeing some of those things pop up. And I know that because I get asked that question a lot. Good questions. If there's anything else, feel free and fire away. Lots of programs coming up. April 20th, we have our Princess Party at the Senior Center from 9:30 in the morning till 11:30. So if you want to sit with your favorite princesses, you can do so. We also have our Puzzle Palooza on April 25th. That's a Thursday at Eastside Brewing. This is for 18 years and older. Contestants can form a team of 2 to 4 players and actually put together a 500-piece puzzle. And you can enjoy a beverage while you do that, or you can go watch and see people argue about putting together a 500-piece puzzle. Either one of those things will probably happen. We also have our cool Solar Eclipse Civic Park event. It's going to be from 2:30 to 4 p.m. at Civic Park. Who knows, maybe we'll go ahead and take some of city staff out there as well. Hopefully the weather will be clear enough that day, but this is Ohio, so I'm really just hoping it's not overcast as always. But then we also have a spring nature hike. We have a couple of them coming up. April 7th on a Sunday at Civic Park, and April 21st at Pine Quarry. If you're interested in those, again, check out our Parks and Rec page. We have Rock Hoppers, which is a big famous one to come back and take a look at some of the rocks, especially in the creek area by Huber Park. That is on Sunday, September 28th. And as far as the sports are concerned, this is actually kind of a call for some volunteer. Everybody's like, what can we do that might be beneficial? So I've got a really great opportunity for you to participate. We need some volunteers for our superhero sport programs. This would be for soccer, baseball, flag football. These are for individuals that want to participate in sport but might be limited in mobility or ability. And this would be an opportunity to go out and help some of our community members actually enjoy a little bit of time in the sun. It's not a huge commitment, but it is incredibly fun. And the kids love it, especially when the adults come out there. So if you're interested in that, please check it out on the Parks and Recs page. I know you'll see it out there, but it's a great opportunity, and you need no experience. Just be there and help out. If you have no idea about soccer, don't worry about it. It doesn't really matter. They'll teach you everything you need to know to help with these kids. So it's a great opportunity, so I hope you take advantage of that. We also have our youth pickleball program, Monday, April 1st through May 6th. Now, the grades are as follows. Grades 1 through 3 are going to have their classes from 5:30 to 6:30 at the JFK tennis courts. And grades 4 through 6 will be from 6:30 to 7:30. So get everybody an opportunity to kind of get a little understanding of what that's all like. So if you're interested in that, again, youth pickleball will be there. As you may know, we did put in a request for some state capital budget dollars, and we're applying for some grant things to kind of convert the current tennis courts into some pickleball courts while still holding on to 1 or 2 courts for tennis. So that is an opportunity out there because pickleball is one of the fastest growing sports. We also have adult co-ed softball that's going to be Tuesday night starting at 6 o'clock at Civic Park. And again, this is 18 plus, so it's going to be an opportunity for people to be out there and enjoy a little bit of softball. And I'm sure everybody goes out afterwards and enjoys a beverage to celebrate their wins or console their losses, one of the two. And then obviously the good one, Bryce Park is actually starting. Trees were taken down a little bit. That area is probably going to be where the parking area is. We are going to have some pictures up on our website, hopefully in the next day or so, about what ultimately the project's going to look like. But it's going to be really good. We're happy that it's finally getting started, and all the lawyers have had their say and fun things like that. So, any questions coming into time?
No.
All right. Little fun this past weekend. In case you felt a little holiday spirit in March, this had the opportunity where Reynoldsburg hosted Santa Claus Camp. And so Santa Claus actually came in grand numbers, and they talked about their skills and how to be even better when dealing with the community and just all sorts of other stuff. And I was invited to come and participate a little bit. There were over 70 Santas here in Reynoldsburg celebrating the holiday season. And for one day, I was actually kind of crowned with a new Santa hat as the mayor of Santatown. So that was pretty cool to see them out there. These are the individuals that are actually very dedicated to it, and they're sharing their skills so that way they can bring that holiday community spirit back to wherever it is that they were from. There were people from Wisconsin, Indiana, Kentucky, all over the place coming right over here to Reynoldsburg. So shout out to them, including our very own Santa, who you've seen here, who's the real Santa that comes to the show every year. So thanks again for all of those cool things. Some other events coming up. We have, of course, our annual spaghetti dinner for the Reynoldsburg Community Association. It is the April 6th, so we've got just about a week to go. It's from 5 to 8. It's at Messiah Lutheran. $10 for adults, $5 for children's age 5 to 12. They do take takeout. Tickets can be purchased ahead of time, and you can call Chuck Cochran at 614-580-7218. They're out there, and you can take care of that one. But again, this is all to benefit the Reynoldsburg Community Association. They are the organization that helps put on the 4th of July parade, our Halloween event, Christmas on the Town. So they do a lot of really cool things, and this is their fundraiser to help pay for all of that stuff. So again, come out for a great cause. Good things happen there, good food, and lots of fun. So hope to see you at Messiah in a couple of weeks on that one. Let's see. Again, the Easter egg hunt, that's actually this Saturday starting at 11 o'clock. And as we joked around here, it starts at 11 and it'll probably be done at 11:05. But it is broken down into age groups, so the younger kids get their area all the way up through the older children, and sometimes even their parents helping out. But that's an event put on at Huber Park by the Reynoldsburg Lions Club, as well as the VFW Post 9473, the City of Reynoldsburg, and the Parks and Recs Department. So all sorts of cool things going on with that. And then we have the Civic Park cleanup on April 6th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., so you can work up an appetite for the spaghetti dinner. We have our Earth Day celebration at Pine Quarry Park at a tree planting on April 20th from 9 to 12. We have our Arbor Day celebration April 26th at 4 p.m. at Rodabaugh Park. And then if that's enough for you, you can actually head out to the Chamber of Commerce is having another cool event. It is actually a bowling scramble. Teams of 2 can come on out, and it's going to be at Rule 3 in that town over there that we don't like to talk about. But it's going to be from 10 to 12, and you can come out and show off some skills and things like that. I am not a great bowler, but I did spend a lot of time bowling, coaching bowling. And if you happen to be at the City Council or watching City Council, Quinn Dean did get recognized by City Council for his achievement of being the first Reynoldsburg bowler to go to states. And if I am able to go to this particular event, Quinn will be my partner, and I'm just going to let him do it, and he'll probably win everything. So, Quinn, if you're watching or if your mom's watching, yeah, we'll talk. So those are cool things that are going on. Again, there's a lot of things going on in Reynoldsburg. There's fun stuff to do there, and we're always going to try and find ways to get that information out to you, including Reynoldsburg Connects, which is our email blast system. If you're interested in that, go ahead and check out our website, and you'll see that there. And you can find out about our Community Cleanup Day, April 27th from 9 to 12. And this has got a full range of things. We've got flag disposal, pill disposal, we've got bike donations, we've got bulk drop-off, shredding, the big popular one, electronic disposal, and we did add a brand new vendor this year. Volunteers of America will be there as well. So that'll be right here in front of City Hall in kind of the back area by JFK parking lot, so you can come out and take care of all of those needs. And we're always looking for people to volunteer to help clean up and do some litter pickup all the way throughout the city. So if you're interested in that, reach out to us here as well. And the last couple of things we have here is the Tomato Festival. We're looking for volunteers. So if you're interested in volunteering for the Tomato Festival, if you want to help keep the grounds clean, or if you want to help come out and set things up, or more fun, tear things down, that's a lot easier. We're always looking for volunteers for that one. So you can reach out to Jessica as well. But you're going to start to see more of that coming over the next couple of weeks. It's a great opportunity for high school kids if you're looking to get some community service hours. It's a great opportunity for adults if you just want to go out and get out of the house and kind of meet some fun people that are getting ready to plan an amazing event all the way across. So we're always looking for help in that one. And if you're thinking about helping with that, you may as well go ahead and participate in our Celebrate 250 America, the birthday celebration in 2026. We're all still taking kind of volunteers for that committee as well. But again, the United States only turns 250 once, so that's in 2026, so we're going to do some cool things. Any questions, comments, anything like that? All right. Well, I'm sad, but okay. Shout out those town hall suggestions if you have any. And next week, we're actually going to have a guest. We don't know who yet from the Reynoldsburg Community Association, but we're going to have some representatives there, and they're going to talk about, obviously, the spaghetti dinner. They're going to talk about their organization, and that's another one you could actually join an opportunity to volunteer for. But we're looking forward to having them on and talk about those types of things. As always, everybody stay safe, stay respectful. Please put your shopping carts away and try and get out because the weather looks very nice out today. Otherwise, have a great day, everybody. We'll see you.